Hey guys, welcome to Three Hits. I want to touch on John Scott's tweet from, I think it was yesterday, and it more or less said that why do the players today get a pass in the media where teams from, he referenced the Phaneuf and Kessel eras, were just raked across the coals every day and had the media pour the heat to them every single day, it seemed like. And I got to admit, I'm totally conflicted on this because I remember being in that room during that era. I remember coming to the rink every day. I remember what it was like. I remember walking on eggshells. I remember not feeling like I could laugh or enjoy myself. I remember the scrutiny that was constantly on that group, and no one ever seemed to be happy. And it honestly sucked the joy out of, one of the greatest things you could do, at least in my life, is be part of the Toronto Maple Leafs organization, and to go through that and feel like you're walking on eggshells the whole time. And I got to say, it wasn't really from within. It was from the media. You're at practice and you joke around with a buddy, and they're going to talk about how we're not taking it seriously and we think this is a joke and it's a country club, and just any way they could spin it, it was never good enough. And if we lost 2 games in a row, the whole season was over. If we won 2 games in a row, it was like, well, this can't possibly last. And it didn't matter what you did, it wasn't good enough. And I left that organization feeling like the hardest place to win in the hockey markets that exist is without a doubt Toronto, because of those things exactly: the scrutiny, the media, the heat that you get, the constant spotlight under a magnifying glass, and they're always watching everything, and you can't do anything. Everything's scrutinized, and it makes every little detail so blown up that going the distance and winning the Stanley Cup seemed almost impossible. That being said, now that I've moved across to the media side of things, I understand the constant need for perfection, for a winning season, for playoff success, for a Stanley Cup. It has been far too long. And in my opinion, the only reason it's been that long is for those reasons that I just explained. It is very difficult to win in this market. You have to acknowledge the fact that that team from, say, 2010 with Kessel and Phaneuf and yours truly clearly wasn't good as this team. It wasn't as good as this team. It didn't have the expectations. It didn't have the pedigree. It wasn't at the top of the NHL. It wasn't a perennial playoff contender. And for that reason, I think they get more scrutiny. But what is worse, being a really good team with high expectations and not performing, or being an average team and not having the highest expectations and performing as expected? It's kind of two sides to that, and it's difficult. How much heat does this group need to take? How much scrutiny should they have? Should you be going up to them asking them, do you want to be back next year? Or should you be saying, tell us why you should be back next year. You've won 1 round in 7 years, and it's that back and forth. And I got to be honest, I haven't come to a conclusion with it yet. I don't know how hard you should be on these guys. All I do know is that there's not much more frustrating than expecting to do big things and falling quite short of that. And that is without a doubt, I think, where Leafs Nation is right now, completely frustrated. And how much scrutiny do these guys deserve? Leave it up to you guys. Let us know what you think.